Coming up on Evening Edition, Governor Pritzker signs a new minimum wage law, plus 16 states file a suit against President Trump. And people were rescued after an incident at SeaWorld. Live from Southern Illinois University, you're watching River Region Evening Edition.
Governor J.B. Pritzker removed 2 members from SIU Board of Trustees this morning. Good evening, I'm Diamond Palmer.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. Governor Pritzker removed trustees Tom Britton and Marsha Ryan. The 2 were never formally approved by the state Senate. Former Governor Bruce Rauner appointed Ryan in January of 2017 and Britton in April of last year. The removal comes after the SIU board elected J. Philip Gilbert as board chair for the 2019-2020 year.
Southern Illinois University Edwardsville has increased graduate student enrollment for the spring 2019 semester. Graduate enrollment grew by 177 students more than spring 2018 to reach its highest level in 4 years. SIUE also saw record online enrollment for spring semester with 12% of total students enrolled entirely online. SIUE's overall enrollment declined 359 students compared to spring 2018.
Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a minimum wage increase into law today. Now, under this new law, the current minimum wage is $8.25 an hour. That will jump to $9.25 an hour on January 1st. After that, it will rise incrementally until it hits $15 an hour in the year 2025.
For 9 long years, there were many forces that were arrayed against giving a raise to the people who work so hard to provide home care for seniors, child care for toddlers, who wash dishes at the diner, and who farm our fields. Today is a victory for the cause of economic justice.
Now, the law includes a small tax credit for small businesses and a gradual increase in the wage for teenage workers as well.
SIU students got to network with local and national businesses at the SIU Research and Job Fair today. The event was held in the Student Center and was put on by the Career Development Center. The event was open to all majors and more than 40 organizations took part. SIU's Career Development Center expected a large student turnout because the high number of employers expected to attend.
Hi, today's event is a job and internship fair for all of our students on campus and for our alumni. We have over 124 employers registered. They come from all across the nation and Illinois.
Another job and internship fair will be held in the fall semester.
Rainbow's End Child Development Center at SIU has earned a Silver Circle Quality designation from Accelerate Illinois. The designation means Rainbow's End earned a high-level quality marks in classroom teaching, environments, and professional standards. The designation is the second highest available. Rainbow's End Director Karen Samuel says it's nice for the staff to be recognized. And floodwater from the Ohio River is impacting many parts of southern Illinois. One of the areas impacted is Haraz Metropolis Casino and Hotel. The casino was closed for business yesterday due to the rising floodwaters. The Illinois Department of Transportation also closed a section of Illinois 1 in Hardin County around 2 o'clock today. Now, for more information about road closures across the state, head to www.dot.il.gov.
And hopefully the flooding will get better, but that means no more rain.
I hope so. Samantha Soto is here now with a first look at weather. Sam, are we expected to see the rain anytime soon?
Well, Diamond, Jacob, we are going to be experiencing that rain still. Tonight we are going to be seeing that temperature at 34 with some cloudy skies, but by morning we are going to probably be experiencing some snow. So we're going to be warming up to about 33 degrees by midday. We are going to be seeing snow. As I said, we do have a winter weather advisory in effect right now, so I do want to make you guys aware for that. But we are going to be experiencing some warmer temperatures later in the week, so we do have that to look forward to. But I have all of that and more coming up in my 5-day forecast.
All right, Sam, thanks. One man is dead after a shooting happened last night in Sikeston, Missouri. According to the Sikeston, Missouri Department of Public Safety, a 24-year-old male was found shot in the 800 block of William Street, where he was also pronounced dead. Now, anyone with information about the shooting is asked to contact the Sikeston Police Department. I-57 is back open tonight after an early morning crash. The crash happened near mile marker 44. State police say the driver said he fell asleep before crashing into a guardrail. The car suffered major damage. One passenger was transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
In honor of Black History Month, we take a look at the life of SIU's first African-American graduate.
And how his life affects students here today. Evening Edition's Madeline Parker has more.
SIU's first African-American graduate was Dr. Alexander Lane, a former slave born in Durant, Mississippi. But his graduation was only the beginning of his journey.
After graduating from Southern Illinois University, Dr. Lane came here to Carbondale's East Side School for Negroes, which would eventually become Attucks High School.
He was the principal, the janitor, and the teacher.
Lane taught at the school for 10 years before deciding to go to medical school.
So he applied to Rush Medical College, and he went there and he graduated in 1895.
Lane practiced in both Carbondale and Chicago, but after about 10 years, Lane decided to take on another challenge.
Because not only was he a physician, but he ran for the Illinois State Legislature and became a legislator. All right, in 1905, he ran for the Illinois State Legislature, and then he lost. But then he ran again in 1907, and he won.
Lane died in 1911, but his legacy lives on in the students at SIU. One of those students is Tiffany Murdoch, a cinema and photography student. And Dr. Lane's story gives her hope when it comes to achieving her dreams.
A lot of African American students in the cities are told that they won't become anything. So hearing his story, it's like a reassurance that they will become something if they put their mind to it.
For Evening Edition, I'm Madeline Parker.
Now, when Dr. Lane was a student, there were 3 African-American students total at the university. Now, today, approximately 16% of SIU students are African-American.
Federal judge has given the green light to a lawsuit aimed at halting President Obama's museum and library from being built in a public park. Protect Our Park wants to stop the $500 million Project Obama Presidential Center from being built to the selected location. The park's advocacy groups accuses the city of illegally transferring park land. The ruling does not mean that the park's advocacy group will succeed, but the suit now poses a threat to the project in Jackson Park.
And ahead on Evening Edition, 16 states are challenging the president's national emergency.
Plus, a senator joins the 2020 presidential race. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. President Donald Trump is criticizing a lawsuit he predicted would be coming from 16 states challenging his national emergency declaration.
The lawsuit, led by California Attorney General, is the latest in a series of lawsuits over the same topic. Natasha Chen explains why these cases claim the president is violating the Constitution by going around Congress.
The states and organizations suing the Trump administration have one major argument. The Constitution says Congress is supposed to decide how taxpayer money is spent. But on Friday, President Trump declared an emergency at the southern border, tapping into various funding sources to build a wall.
If the president is essentially stealing money that's been allocated to go to the various states for various purposes, but no longer will, we're being harmed. Our people are being harmed.
California Attorney General Javier Becerra is leading a group of 16 states in a lawsuit filed Monday night. President Trump responded in the Oval Office Tuesday.
And I think we'll do very well. We have absolute right to do that. I have an absolute right to call national security. We need strong borders.
He predicted on Friday that he'd be sued in the Ninth Circuit.
And then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court.
Legal experts say it might be difficult for plaintiffs to fight on the basis of the emergency declaration itself. The president has a wide discretion over what constitutes a national emergency. But a key question is whether the statute President Trump has invoked, which in this case requires the use of armed forces, can be used to fund the wall. In Washington, I'm Natasha Chen reporting.
The ACLU's National Security Project, the Center for Biological Diversity, and Border Network for Human Rights have also filed lawsuits. Meanwhile, House Democrats have also put forward a joint resolution to terminate the emergency declaration.
U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders is throwing his hat into the presidential ring once again. The Vermont senator announced today that he will seek the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020. In 2016, he finished second to Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination. Sanders will face a more crowded field than he did in 2016. Including Sanders, 10 major Democrats have either announced their candidacy or formed exploratory committees. And some lawmakers and youth activists are pushing for Oregon to lower its minimum voting age to 16. Oregon state lawmakers announced a new bill that, if approved, would ask voters in 2020 whether the state's voting age should be lowered from 18 to 16. Supporters say 16 and 17-year-olds are affected by life and death issues such as gun control and the environment, but they have no political voice. If approved by voters, Oregon would be the first U.S. state to lower the statewide voting age to 16.
Schools in all but one of West Virginia's counties were closed today as teachers there were on strike. Teachers first went on strike last year in dispute over pay, which was resolved after a 9-day walkout. But now teachers are upset after the West Virginia State Senate passed an education bill that includes opening more charter schools and creating educational savings accounts. Many teachers and school bus drivers did not show up today for work. In our business news tonight, Honda plans to close its auto manufacturing plant in Swindon, England in 2021. The plant employs about 3,500 people. Honda's senior vice president for Europe says the closure is not related to Brexit, but rather to a more response to changes in the global market. The UK's business secretary calls the decision devastating. Honda's European headquarters will continue to be in the UK after the plant closes. And Payless Shoe Source filed for bankruptcy yesterday. The company is closing all 2,500 of its stores in the U.S. and Canada, which will put about 16,000 people out of work. The shoe retailer lost $63 million in 2018 and may not be or not able to pay the money it owes to its employees. More than 400 other stores owned by the company will stay open in 20 other states. Stores across the U.S. and Canada should be closed for good by the end of May.
Last night in San Diego, more than a dozen people had to be rescued from a ride in SeaWorld. On an attraction called Bayside Skyride, 16 people and 5 of these gondolas were trapped for hours over Mission Bay waters. A baby and someone who was partially paralyzed were also on board.
The low part was just getting our technical rescue crews in place and, like I said, shimmying over to the different gondolas to harness them and bring them down. So I think the hardest part of getting up to the locations is complete, and now it's just a matter of harnessing them and lowering them safely down to the bottom.
Luckily for all passengers, firefighters, and lifeguards worked together to get everyone off safely. The fashion world is mourning the loss of one of its legendary visionaries. Chanel announced today that Karl Lagerfeld, the longtime creative director of the French luxury fashion house, has died. A cause of death has not been released, but Lagerfeld missed a fashion show last month due to tiredness. The German-born designer took the reins of the Chanel in 1983, helping revive the brand. Lagerfeld was his early 80s.
Are the warm temperatures on the way for the rest of the week? Samantha has a full check of your forecast coming up.
But first on Wall Street, stocks ended the day with positive results. The nightly business report has more coming up at 5:30.
Welcome back to River Region Evening Edition. As you can see right now, we are experiencing those partly cloudy skies with our temperatures at 37 degrees. Our dew point is reading 25% with humidity up to 60 degrees. Our wind is coming in from the northeast at 17 miles per hour and our barometer is set at 30.35. Now, if we take a look at our almanac, we could see that we were pretty close to our averages, highs and lows for this time of year, with our high being 39 and our low being 32, but we were nowhere near that record high of 72 set in 1930 or that record low of -6 in 1936. Taking a look at our regional temperatures, you can see that the sun was pretty much out across the region. We did see some partly cloudy skies in Carbondale, Marion, and Waterloo, Waterloo being our coolest up at 35, and Cape Girardeau being our warmest down at 41. Now, if you take a look at our national temperatures, you could see that we are experiencing those 30 to 40 degree range temperatures in our region, which is pretty normal for this time of year. But if we take a look at our surface map, I will tell you that we are going to be experiencing a river flood warning that is going to be affecting our area. But if you go any further north, you're going to be probably experiencing that rain or snow mix. Tonight we are going to be seeing that winter weather advisory at 31 degrees, and we are going to be having a river flood warning in effect until tomorrow. Taking a look at our bus stop, Tomorrow we are going to be seeing that 31 degrees. It is going to be cold, so you want to make sure your son or daughter is bundled up. Coats, jackets, scarves, gloves, you name it. With that southeast winds coming at 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow it is going to be partly cloudy again. We're not going to be seeing too much sunshine. We are going to be reaching up to 51 with our river flood ending at 2 p.m. And we're going to be seeing wind gusts up to 15 miles per hour with our sunrise at 6:39. Tomorrow night, however, we are going to be reaching down to 29 degrees. Partly cloudy skies are still going to be sticking around with those wind gusts up to 10 miles per hour. And the sun setting at 5:40. If you want to take a look at our 5-day forecast, you could see Wednesday we are going to be seeing that snow tomorrow with our temperature at 35 degrees. But Thursday we're going to be warming up to almost 60 degrees. That sunshine will be around. Friday it's going to be cloudy, 49, but we're going to be seeing some rain this weekend. But we are going to be quite warming up to almost 70 degrees on Sunday. So that is something that we could definitely look forward to.
Yeah, quite the roller coaster of temperature for sure.
Definitely, that's Carbondale for you.
Yes, thank you. And now here's Ryan Davis with the preview of what's coming up next in sports. Ryan.
It's that time again, sports fans, and get ready because coming up, Saluki softball caps off a strong weekend. And a young girl talks a big game and has the strength to back it up. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. It's yet another week of honors as 2 SIU softball players earned some MVC awards. Brianna Jones was named MVC Pitcher of the Week for the 9th time and Puerto Vallarta Challenge Tournament MVP. The senior allowed only 13 hits and 19 innings of work and struck out 18 players. Meanwhile, freshman Ashley Wood takes home MVC Newcomers of the Week after hitting a team best of 8 for 13, 2 walks, 3 RBIs, and no errors. Wood is the first Saluki to earn Newcomer of the Week since Jones did so in 2016. And due to predicted weather conditions, tonight's baseball game against Belmont has been rescheduled to Wednesday, February 27th. First pitch will be at 4 p.m. The team will be off until this weekend, traveling to Memphis to face the Tigers. And sad news today as former Seattle Seahawks player Anthony T.J. Cunningham has been pronounced dead after being shot multiple times. Police in Aurora, Colorado responded to reports of gunfire at a local high school Sunday before receiving a call from Cunningham's neighbor. 31-year-old Marcus Johnson says he and Cunningham had been arguing over a parking spot when he repeatedly shot the retired NFL player. Cunningham was rushed to the hospital but died late yesterday afternoon. Johnson was arrested and is expected to face first-degree murder charges. And at only 106 pounds and 14 years old, she's still one of the best high school wrestlers in Oklahoma. Jordan Blair started wrestling in 6th grade when she noticed it in a school sports list. Despite her small stature and lack of experience, Blair didn't let it stand in the way of her winning several championships.
So I was kind of pushed to a corner, and I was kind of shunned by my team because I didn't know how to wrestle, and I was really, really small. You push me to a corner, you underestimate me. That's like something that should drive a person.
She says her father, a Purple Heart veteran, is the one who taught her her work ethic. It's a work ethic her coach, Jason McPhail, says is invaluable.
Just a fierce competitor. She comes in and she drills with the boys and works out with the boys every day.
Right now, there's no female wrestling division in the OSSA at the state championship level, only in certain tournaments. But there is a huge push to change that, a push the association is on board with now. And nearly 3 years after her death, the woman called the 9th wonder of the world is getting recognition from the wrestling community. Joan Laura, otherwise known as the wrestler Chyna, will be inducted into WWE Hall of Fame. Laura is known for being the pro wrestler to break many of the gender barriers facing women in the 1990s. She was also the only undefeated women's champion in WWE history and one of the first women to compete and hold titles in the men's wrestling division. And today's play of the day comes all the way from London and yesterday's game between Manchester United and Chelsea. In the 45th minute of the game, Manchester United's Marcus Rashford crosses into the box. He passes it over to teammate Paul Pogba, who leaps between Chelsea defenders and headbutts it into the net. Pogba's head dive will secure Manchester United's win 2-0. Now, I just want to say that's pretty impressive. So, you have to sprint very fast or to reach between two different people just to get that into the goal like that.
Seriously, and I bet the fans were going extremely wild. It's amazing to see that.
Yeah, Manchester's probably one of the best.
Exactly.
Are we going to see the sunshine continue the rest of the week? Sam has a final check of the forecast next.
But first, as we head to break, be sure to follow us on social media at River Region News and check out our website for more local content. We'll be right back. And finally tonight, a teenage girl from California is on her way to becoming an Eagle Scout.
February 1st was the first time Catherine Boggs could be a full-fledged scout on her own under what is known as Scouts BSA. Her grandfather, father, and brother all became Eagle Scouts, and now she wants to carry on the tradition. Catherine says she already knows what her Eagle project will be, working with a vet clinic on a horse rescue. You know, that's such a beautiful story, but this weather won't be so beautiful.
It won't actually. We are going to be experiencing some snow going in from tonight into tomorrow, but we are going to be warming up on Thursday. We're going to be seeing that sunshine, but the weekend is going to be bringing some showers. So we are not going to be having very pleasant weather at all.
I see that it's climbing up to 70 though. How do you guys feel about that?
I like it, but I wish that it doesn't have the rain showers as well. So it's kind of one of those weeks where you have the snow and the rain, so you got to have every single piece of clothing for that.
For sure.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Sam.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. The Nightly Business Report is next. I'm Diamond Palmer.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. For Samantha Soto, Ryan Davis, and all of the students who work on Evening Edition. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.